Hello everyone, and welcome back to this week's Sabbath School Nugget. Now, before we begin Sabbath's lesson, would you please take a moment to hit those like and share buttons? And as always, please feel free to leave us a comment or a question in the comment section below. Now, this week's lesson is entitled The Shepherd's Crucible. Our memory text for this week comes from a very well-known Bible passage. It's Psalms 23 and 3. He restores my soul. He leads me in the paths of righteousness for His name's sake. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but this Sabbath lesson brings out something in Psalms 23 that many of us simply don't talk about, or maybe you've never seen it before. What's that, you might ask? Well, it's this idea that the paths of righteousness, or the paths that lead to righteousness, might take you from time to time through the valley of the shadow of death. You see what I mean? When was the last time you heard that somebody preached that? And yet, this is the very point that the author of this week's lesson is making. That sometimes the path to soul restoration and righteousness passes right through the valley of the shadow of death. For some people, that's a jaw dropper. And unfortunately for some others, that might be a deal breaker. But not for David, who wrote this. David said, God, you can lead me right through the valley of the shadow of death itself, and I don't fear any evil that lurks there, because my shepherd is with me. You see, David understood that as long as God was guiding and leading him, then the destination would be a place of restoration and righteousness. How did he know this? Because David knew his shepherd. And this brings us to Sunday's lesson, which asks the question, what is your picture and understanding of God? What kind of shepherd is God? Is He more of a caretaker who looks after His sheep, or is He more like the butcher who fattens and fleeces His flock for the slaughter? In this study, our picture and understanding of God will be crucial to our understanding of where is God, and does God care, and is there a reason for all of this when we too go through pain and suffering? In the end, our understanding of who God is will ultimately determine if we will truly follow God on whatever path He leads us. And we'll talk about that more tomorrow. Until then, you take care. God bless.